Hi everyone, Letty here from Party Planner Papery. Today I have the Not Too Shabby Shop December releases. I am specifically using the box of the month. I'm going to make some easy mini cards with matching envelopes. Welcome back everyone. So I'm on the design team for the Not Too Shabby Shop for this term. Here's their logo. I'll list a website affiliate link down in the description box below. So today I have the December 2024 box of the month. It has 2 paper pads, 2 packs of ephemera, and then 3 stamp sets. Jamie does also throw in some freebies. We have a lollipop and some enamel dots. You get a whole strip plus that lollipop. So those are the items that will come in the box of the month this month. Let's do a quick unboxing. Starting with the Love Cats 6x6 paper pad. It has 24 double-sided sheets. You have 12 different designs. Here are the backs and fronts of each of the designs that come in this pack. Some faux glitter, lots of really cute kitties, some hearts in varying shades of pinks and reds with some whites and creams. Real pretty, real pretty. And then, so this is the Love Cats. Again, 12 designs, 24 total sheets of that 6x6 paper. Then we have the coordinating ephemera pack called Love Cats, and it also has a lot of very similar images that coordinate with that pack. Here's a still shot of what comes in it. Some sentiments, some cats, some little paw prints, hearts, locks, presents, a ton of cuteness. Then we have the second paper pad, and it's called Critter Valentines. It's also 24 double-sided sheets of 6x6 paper, 12 total designs. Here are the backs and fronts of the 24 sheets of paper, or the 6 different paper combinations, 12 designs that come in this paper pack. Again, more faux glitter, really pretty. You have some varying colors in this one, more gold tones. You even have a pop of the green in this one. Super, super cute. So that is the paper pad. Again, Critter Valentines. That's the 6x6, the second one that comes in this box. Now it does also have a coordinating pack of ephemera that coordinates Critter Valentine. And again, it has some of that like faux glitter sort of look. Here is a still shot of everything that comes in that ephemera pack. Lots of different critters, some squirrels and some owls and some other things, and hearts and florals and sentiments. Really, really fun. We have 3 stamp sets. The first one's called Purrs and Kisses. It has some really cute little cat images, some really fun little sentiments, a lot of little cat sort of embellishment items, little fun add-ons and things. Super, super fun. Again, this one's called Purrs and Kisses. Super, super cute. The second stamp set is called XOXO Y'all, and it's got some really fantastic sentiments. These are really great sentiments for Valentine's Day. You've got lots of combinations. Some of them are involving sort of like the critter or pet related theme, but otherwise they are super, super cute. They've got some really great options there. XOXO Y'all is that one. And then we've got Stick Together, and this one's also the third stamp set. You've got a combination of some cute images and then also some really fun sentiments as well. So these are going to be super great for spring or Valentine's. So those are the items. Again, Jamie throws in some freebies. Those are what came in the December 2024 box of the month from Not Too Shabby. 2 paper pads, 2 packs of ephemera, 3 stamp sets. Again, I have my website affiliate link. I'll link it down below. So in case you want to make a purchase, let's dive into the project. So before we dive in, let me show you my previous projects using this box. I made 2 different card sets. One was the sheet load for December by Call Me Crafty Owl, and I used 6x6 paper. Then I did it again, used 6x6, but this time I had no scraps. So if you want to see any of those videos, I'll link them at the very end of this one. You can check that out. So for today, we're making easy mini cards with matching envelopes. These are little 3x4 cards. The base is 4x6. We're going to fold it in half, decorate it. I'm going to show you how you can cut your paper. There's a couple different ways you can do that. We'll decorate with some of the ephemera and some of the stamped images or stamped sentiments from this box of the month. These are super cute, perfect for Valentine's, perfect for little lunchbox notes. You've got lots of options. I'm also going to show you how to make some coordinating envelopes out of cardstock that you can use to house these little 3x4 cards, these little mini cards. You could always use an envelope punch board, but I'm going to show you if you didn't have one of those tools, you can make it just with straight cardstock and a scoreboard. So I have my supplies here. For this project today, we're going to use 1 sheet of 6x6 double-sided paper. Double-sided works best, but you can use single-sided. We're basically going to cut down a piece that's 4x6, depending on which orientation you want your card to go. We have an inside mat that's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 or 3/4. I did already pre-decorate it, pre-stamped it. I stamped a couple of images, colored with some alcohol markers, did some doodle lines. So I just prepped them just to kind of save me some time, but I mass produced those when I was making all of my cards. I am going to bring in an extra little scrap here. This is just like 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches. You can basically decorate this any way you want. It's kind of like a mini little card. So you can add, like, decorate it just like you would a regular card. So I'm just going to add this little strip across the bottom. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of ephemera, but you could bring some stamped images. And then I have, of course, a little stamped sentiment just to make this little mini card complete. So I'm also going to bring in 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock to make a little mini envelope. Now you can get 2 from 1 sheet of cardstock. So let's first cut down our 6 by 6 paper. Now my little card is a vertical card. So when I do that, I'm going to be cutting my paper. I'm going to turn it one time and then cut it from the side. Okay. Because I want to have my card open vertically. If you were doing a horizontal card like this, then what you would do is go ahead and leave your paper upright, like with the top to the top. So it's really depending on how you want these little cards to be oriented. It also depends on how you want the scrap to be, because if you wanted to say make some bookmarks, you probably want to do the one like this with a little horizontal orientation. But if you really didn't care, then you could just do the one that I'm doing. So I rotated it once, cut it at 4 inches on the 6-inch side. Now I have a scrap that's 2 by 6. You can use this to decorate, but I'm going to set it aside and just use it for a different project. Again, if you wanted to save those 2-inch strips and make them like bookmarks, you probably will want to do this type of cut where you just cut straight with the paper up and down and then do a little bitty horizontal mini card. So we have our mats here. We're going to be using this 4 by 6. What we're going to do is score it at 3 inches on the larger side, which is the 6-inch side. And this is basically going to give us a little wiggle room here so we can fold our card a little easier and basically make our little mini card. So you're folding it in half. If your paper is not as thick, you probably could just fold it, but mine is a little thicker. It's the Not Too Shabby paper, which is pretty good thickness. I do have a little extra hanging off, so I'm going to just trim it, and that's just because of my scoreboard. I usually have this issue. So now I have my little mini card. That's as easy as it is. And then I'm going to just finish decorating. So I'll start by decorating the inside, and then I'll finish by decorating the front. So let's go ahead and glue our little mat, our little inside mat to the inside. Now, if you're using single-sided paper, you actually can skip this step because the back of your paper would likely be white or a very light color. So you don't have to add an additional mat. But because I'm using double-sided paper, I think it adds some really pretty decoration to the inside. And then you just want to add that white mat or light colored mat so that way you have a place to actually write, because sometimes your pattern paper can be too dark. So the next step is just decorate the front. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down this little strip. I notice here though that it's a little bit longer because again, it was 3 inches, but then I trimmed down my little mini card to make it even. So I took off just a little bitty slither and now it's ready to be glued down. So I'm just double checking it. I'm auditioning the piece right in front of it before I glue it down. That's always a good tip, is to make sure you want your sort of align your papers, make sure that you want them exactly the way that you want before you actually add the glue. Because once you add the glue, sometimes it's too late. So I'm kind of just, again, auditioning how I want to lay out my front of my card. I usually do this. I'll sort of play around with it before I decide exactly what I want to do. Sometimes I do that off camera, so you don't actually see me do it. You did get to see me doing it right there in this part of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment. I'm going to add my ephemera piece, and that's basically our card is done. Now, you could always come back in and add some enamel dots, maybe some gemmies, any kind of embellishment. You could also add further decoration to the inside of your card, but I've already made several of these off camera, so that's how quick and easy these are. These are so fast to make. Now, for the envelope, you could always come and use an envelope punch board. This is one by We Are Memory Keepers. There is a card size ready for the 3x4 card. Using 6x6 paper, you're going to score it at 2 5/8. That's your mark. If you're not familiar with this punch board, it is actually a pretty neat tool, but no worries. You can just bring in a sheet of cardstock. This is 8.5 by 11. This is the 65-pound cardstock. I think this one's from Michaels. It's one of the red colors. I really like this red. Now we're going to cut it down at 4 3/4 on the 11-inch side. So you're going to take the larger side and then cut it at 4 3/4. So you're left with that 4 3/4 by 8.5. You're going to cut it twice and you can get 2 envelopes. You will have this scrap. You can just put that aside and use it for a different project. But now we're going to take our envelope foundation and we're going to score. So we're going to score at 3.5 and then 7 on the 8.5-inch side, which is the longer side. Now, obviously you see here I have a very short scoreboard. I like this tiny one, but I'm going to just fold it and then score it again at 3.5, which will make my 3.5 and 7-inch marks. So we've got 3.5 and 7-inch for your scoring. So you'll have a larger flap and then a smaller flap on the opposite side. Go ahead and fold both of those. I like to fold both of those folds in so that way I can form my little envelope. Okay, so you see here we have a little flap. Now, the one thing with the larger like bottom inside flap is that oftentimes it can butt up against right on that score line, and it'll make it a little bit harder to close your envelope. So what I'm doing is just removing a small slither to where I can actually see the full score line and my paper ends right below that score. So that'll make it so much easier, give you much more wiggle room to fold it. I'm bringing in a couple of additional optional tools. I'm using a 2.5-inch circle punch to add my notch to the bottom base part of like the larger flap of my envelope, just like this. And it's just a portion of the circle, maybe like half or a little less than half. You can see here, that'll make it so much easier to pull your card in and out of the envelope. And then the second tool I'm using is a WeRMemoryMakers corner chomper. And so really any corner rounder will do that you have in your stash. I'm just using that to add some corners. I am using the 1/2-inch corner rounder on this one. I just think it gives it a more finished look to have the corners rounded. You're going to add some wet glue and to the bottom, like 2 side panels to close up your envelope. Now, the one thing I will recommend is you always want to use wet glue when you're going to form pockets. And that is because wet glue will permanently dry. So it'll actually fully dry versus like a double-sided adhesive will continuously stay wet. And so if you try to put a card inside there, it could get stuck on the sides. So you could also come back in and add a little double-sided adhesive to the flap just to kind of help for your seal. I'm going to wait to add my adhesive until I actually use them. So this was our little mini card and our coordinating envelopes. Let's move into a full recap up next. Okay, so to recap, we had the December 2024 box of the month from the Not Too Shabby shop. It came with 2 paper pads, 2 packs of ephemera, 3 stamp sets, and then Jamie did throw in some freebies, including a lollipop and some enamel dots. So for today's project, we made easy mini cards with coordinating envelopes or matching envelopes. These are so cute, and they're so quick to make, and they're a great use of your paper because you won't have any, a ton of scraps. You can absolutely use those 2x4 strips. You've got some little envelopes in the event that you don't have an envelope maker like tool like the We Are Memory Keepers one, the punch board. You could absolutely make them with your cardstock. So I did decorate all of the inside with the same little mat, but what's nice about that is that because this was double-sided paper, every inside of the card looks totally different. You see that? Because you're able to see the back of the paper. So this is a great project if you have gorgeous paper, and you know how some of that paper you can't decide because both the A and the B side are just too gorgeous. They're both sides are so pretty. This is a perfect project for that. So again, these were easy mini cards and envelopes. And again, using the December 2024 box of the month. I do have my website affiliate link for Not Too Shabby. I'll link it down below. It helps my channel grow at no extra cost to you. So I really appreciate anytime anybody uses that. I will also link the previous tutorials that I did with this box up next at the end of the video. You can use the hashtag N2S December 24 to get access to our videos, or absolutely use that playlist, which I'll link down in the description box below to get more inspiration from the design team using the box of the month, the paper pad club, the add-on ephemera, and the stamp and die set of the month. All of the new items from Not Too Shabby. I hope you were inspired to take out those crafty supplies and start creating. Happy crafting!